The palace did not panic when the rumors first started. That is the part nobody talks about. They whispered, quietly, carefully, behind closed doors where cameras could not enter, and royal smiles suddenly disappeared the second Meghan Markle's name was mentioned. But then one missing dress came back from the dead, and according to insiders, that single moment allegedly destroyed her relationship with one of the most powerful fashion houses in the world. Dior did not just walk away. Sources claim the doors were slammed shut so hard that even Meghan's team allegedly stopped asking. And now people inside the fashion industry are asking one terrifying question: what else disappeared before anyone noticed? Everything reportedly began with a soft green designer dress. Elegant, expensive, quietly glamorous. The kind of dress nobody would remember twice unless something went horribly wrong. Meghan wore it during a Variety magazine photo shoot years ago. Standard fashion procedure: borrow the item, wear it for a few hours, then return it with the rest of the wardrobe pieces. Simple, ordinary, routine. Except according to reports, when the shoot wrapped and assistants started checking garments back into inventory, the green dress was suddenly gone. No signature confirming return. No shipping paperwork. No explanation. Just silence. And in fashion, silence is where panic begins. At first, insiders allegedly brushed it aside. Fashion shoots are chaotic, racks get mixed up, assistants make mistakes. Expensive pieces vanish temporarily all the time before suddenly reappearing weeks later. But this dress never returned. It allegedly disappeared so completely that people inside the industry quietly stopped mentioning it because nobody wanted a scandal attached to a future duchess. The story could have died there forever, until years later when Meghan reportedly stepped out in public wearing what fashion insiders immediately recognized as that exact same green dress. Suddenly, stylists froze. Designers stared. Wardrobe staff reportedly began texting each other screenshots in private group chats asking the same thing. Wait, isn't that the missing one? And just like that, an old rumor allegedly exploded back to life. That was the moment everything allegedly changed. Because according to insiders, once people saw the dress again, years of uncomfortable memories started connecting together like pieces of a hidden puzzle nobody wanted to solve. Missing gowns after editorial shoots, shoes that never made it back to luxury showrooms, jewelry pieces quietly written off, stylists allegedly warning each other privately not to loan certain items anymore. Tiny incidents, tiny whispers, but together they formed something much darker. Fashion assistants allegedly began comparing stories behind closed doors. Brand managers quietly stopped approving wardrobe requests. Some companies reportedly added discreet internal warnings beside Meghan's name. Not public bans, not official statements, just silent industry notes. High risk for missing samples. And in luxury fashion, that kind of whisper spreads faster than wildfire because nobody wants to become the next victim of an embarrassing scandal. But according to sources, the green dress was not even the real beginning. The timeline allegedly stretches all the way back to Toronto, before palace walls, before royal titles, before global fame. Back when Meghan worked on commercial fashion shoots for brands like Reitmans. People who were reportedly present still remember one specific incident involving Aquazzura heels during a campaign shoot. The day itself looked completely normal. Cameras flashing, clothing racks moving, assistants rushing around backstage. Nothing dramatic until the wardrobe team allegedly discovered several missing pieces after the shoot wrapped, including one specific pair of expensive heels Meghan had worn. At first, nobody accused anyone of anything. Mistakes happen constantly in fashion. Bags get swapped, samples get misplaced, everyone moved on. Until months later when Meghan appeared publicly during her royal engagement announcement wearing those exact same shoes. And suddenly the whispers reportedly started all over again. What made insiders truly uncomfortable was not just the missing items, it was allegedly the explanation that followed. According to fashion rumors, Meghan reportedly justified keeping certain pieces because she did not want items she had worn ending up online or being resold publicly. Some people sympathized, others absolutely did not. But behind the scenes, sources claim the incident became a quiet warning past stylist to stylist across the industry. Be careful what you loan. And once that reputation allegedly started forming, it followed her everywhere, from Toronto studios to palace hallways to luxury fitting rooms in Paris. Then came Kensington Palace, and insiders say that is where the real collision allegedly happened, because royal protocol operates under one brutal rule: nothing is free. Not dresses, not handbags, not shoes. Everything worn officially by working royals must be purchased, documented, recorded, and accounted for to avoid any appearance of favoritism or hidden advertising. But according to palace insiders, Meghan allegedly entered the monarchy carrying a completely different Hollywood mindset where celebrity visibility itself is treated like payment. In Hollywood, designers beg stars to wear their clothes. Exposure is currency. Fame bends rules. But royal tradition allegedly refused to bend for Meghan. Palace aides reportedly explained the policies clearly, expecting understanding. Instead, according to insiders, tension started building almost immediately. Requests for gifted items allegedly continued. Arguments reportedly followed, and what looked like small wardrobe disagreements soon turned into something far more personal and explosive behind palace walls. By the time palace accountants allegedly started raising concerns, this was no longer just about fashion. It had become a full-blown clash of worlds. According to insiders, Prince Charles, still Prince of Wales at the time, personally funded the wardrobes of senior royal women carrying out official duties. That system had existed for years without major chaos. Princess Catherine's wardrobe spending, while luxurious, reportedly stayed predictable and carefully managed. But sources claim Meghan's expenses allegedly exploded at a pace that shocked palace finance teams. Hundreds of thousands of pounds. Designer invoices stacking up, pieces worn once and then quietly disappearing from official tracking records. Palace staff allegedly began asking difficult questions nobody wanted to ask out loud. Why were brands contacting the palace about unreturned items? Why were wardrobe logs reportedly incomplete? And why did every uncomfortable conversation somehow end in tension instead of resolution? According to insiders, Prince Charles eventually stepped in, privately hoping to calm the situation before it spiraled further. Sources claim he allegedly tried approaching the issue carefully, focusing on structure, royal expectations, and spending limits rather than accusations. But behind palace walls, that conversation reportedly landed like a personal attack. Meghan allegedly felt targeted, restricted, controlled. Suddenly, what began as disagreements over clothing allegedly transformed into something emotional and deeply personal. Staff members reportedly noticed the atmosphere inside Kensington Palace becoming colder, heavier, more fractured. Tiny wardrobe disputes allegedly started feeding larger resentments already building behind the scenes. And according to royal insiders, that is the moment trust inside the institution truly began breaking apart. But outside the palace, another storm was allegedly growing quietly inside the luxury fashion industry itself. Designers talk, stylists gossip. Assistants remember everything, and according to insiders, the rumors surrounding missing wardrobe pieces allegedly followed Meghan everywhere she went. That is reportedly why Dior's alleged decision hit the industry so hard, because luxury brands do not quietly distance themselves from globally famous women without serious internal discussions happening first. Fashion houses survive on reputation, trust, and exclusivity. One damaged relationship can create massive financial embarrassment behind closed doors. Sources claim Dior allegedly decided the risk was simply no longer worth it. Not publicly, not dramatically, just quietly, coldly, final. And according to fashion insiders, that silence may have spoken louder than any official statement ever could. Now, people close to the industry allegedly believe the deeper issue was never really about money at all. Meghan and Harry live in a multi-million-dollar world surrounded by celebrity wealth and global contracts. According to insiders, the real problem allegedly came from mindset. Hollywood operates under completely different rules. Celebrities are treated like walking billboards. Designers often tolerate late returns, missing pieces, and blurred boundaries simply because the exposure is considered valuable enough to outweigh the damage. And according to those watching closely, Meghan allegedly carried that exact expectation into royal life and high fashion relationships alike. The belief that visibility itself was payment, that her image alone justified exceptions, that fame could quietly bend rules that had existed for decades before she arrived. But royal systems do not bend easily. Neither do old money fashion houses protecting billion-dollar reputations. An insider said that collision created chaos nobody could fully control anymore. What terrifies people inside the industry now is not even the green dress itself. It is what that dress allegedly revealed. Because once it reappeared publicly years later, every old whisper suddenly felt real. Every missing item suddenly looked suspicious. Every quiet stylist warning suddenly made sense. According to sources, fashion executives allegedly started re-examining incidents they once dismissed as harmless confusion. And the more they looked back, the more uncomfortable the pattern allegedly became. One missing sample might be forgettable. Two can still be explained away. But an entire timeline stretching from Toronto fashion shoots to Kensington Palace allegedly became impossible for insiders to ignore anymore. And now the green dress sits at the center of this entire scandal like a ghost that refuses to disappear. Not because it was the most expensive piece, not because it was glamorous, but because, according to insiders, it allegedly connected everything together. Toronto, Hollywood, royal protocol, Dior, missing wardrobe pieces, private palace frustrations, quiet industry blacklists. One dress allegedly exposed a much bigger story hiding underneath years of carefully controlled public images. And even now, fashion insiders reportedly continue whispering about what may still remain hidden behind the scenes. Because if one missing dress allegedly resurfaced years later, people are starting to wonder how many others never did.